The Leader Who Disappeared, a story of the boldest leadership move. Welcome to Vantage, Aditya. On the eve of the kingdom's most critical battle, campfires flickered beneath a moonless sky. Tents rustled, officers pored over maps, and every soldier drew courage from one presence. Commander Ellis. His word shaped strategy, his silence reassured, and victory felt inevitable, so long as he stood among them. But when dawn's first glow washed across the valley, Commander Ellis was gone. No footprints led from his tent, no horses were missing, and the royal guards swore they had heard nothing. Panic ignited through the ranks. Captains argued over chain of command, lieutenants scanned the horizon, and soldiers, who had always fought for Ellis, now fought rising doubt. A young courier discovered a parchment nailed to a weather-scarred post. 4 words confronted the trembling army. Now lead yourselves today. Presence builds reliance. Absence builds resilience. Shock rippled outward, quickly mingling with fear. Yet within that shock lay an audacious challenge. The quartermaster rallied supply lines out of sheer necessity. A reticent strategist unveiled the battle plan Ellis had drilled into them for months, explaining each maneuver with newfound certainty. A junior standard-bearer lifted the regimental banner and vowed they would carry it forward, even without the general's shadow. What began as scattered voices converged into a single rhythm of purpose. When enemy forces collided with their lines, the army moved not as an anxious mass, but as a network of self-directed units, each echoing lessons Ellis had instilled. Anticipate, adapt, advance. By dusk, they stood victorious on ground that hours earlier had seemed unwinnable without their leader's guiding presence. As twilight settled, a lone rider appeared on the ridge, Commander Ellis, observing from afar. He rode through the camp quietly. Cheers erupted, but he simply dismounted, surveyed the weary faces now alight with hard-earned pride, and spoke in a voice the hush amplified. "You owned this triumph because I stepped away. My greatest command was the moment I issued none. The ultimate proof of leadership is creating a future that no longer requires you." Ellis resigned his commission that night, passing command to the officers who had risen in his absence. He departed without ceremony, leaving behind an army bound not by obedience to a single figure, but by confidence in one another and in themselves. When authority withdraws, true autonomy awakens. So ask yourself, if you vanished at the pivotal hour, would your team falter or finally flourish? Lead so well that your disappearance becomes a gift, not a crisis. Because legacy is measured not by how loudly people cheer your arrival, but by how powerfully they move when you are gone. Subscribe to Vantage Aditya for more narratives that shatter convention and forge greatness.